betray your soul.
Really, where do you get the large sharpstone shards? I mean, I go farming at 2-2 and I get chunks, but I don't get large hardstone shards or sharpstone shards. Just whatever. Man, we get hardstone chunks. This is really good though, man. I'm only two. Let me Google this. I'm only 2 large sharpstone shards away from having a really dangerous shield that I imagine would be very fun to use in PvP. Man, with what I got coming up, so I've been having shaking disorders lately, and they're torturing me. They wind up doping me up on neuroleptic drugs that tortured me as a child. And everyone's just systematic, institutional. Everyone's gonna say it's for my own good. Tell me I look like I'm doing so much better now as I'm suffering to what will inevitably be my very premature death. I feel like it's, jeez. And yet there are murderers and rapists and terrorists and child molesters and everything that get, it's just, murderers especially, they get glorified. We make movies about them and documentaries, and people, and they get the utmost respect in prison. I even saw it in county jail. There was a guy who was at their county jail as a step-down facility as he was awaiting to be released after serving only 12 years for murder. And everyone called him Spider-Man because he had a web tattooed on his face. And he talked with the deputies and everyone, they were all friendly with him. Like, hello, this guy killed somebody. Like, Jesus, I'm going to be trapped. I'm going to take brain-damaging neuroleptic drugs that cause akathisia and shit. And I'm going to be suffering and I'm going to be tormented. And yet, you let these murderers just walk around and, be cool and you're all cool with them and you let them fucking, it's just, wow. And then their time comes up and then you just let them go. What the hell? What the fuck is wrong with this these days? There's so much. Meanwhile, a public nuisance, gets the fucking needle. And it's just like, oh, well, that's for their own good. Fuck them. And rationalize it and with cognitive dissonance and just move on. Not having to go, you know what? Why? Oh, because he's so long. Why does he do this shit? Why does he consume so much alcohol that keeps getting him in trouble? Why? He's so fucking lonely. Why is he so fucking lonely? Well, he got kicked out of the human family, so to speak, when he was a child. He started getting bullied and shit, and the next thing you know, it was all his fault, so schools wound up making him psychiatric, because it'd be so much easier than just dealing with the bullies, and next thing you know, all the fucking drugs and special schools and shit, and never learned social skills, never anything. Never had a partner, never had a friend in my entire life. And so now, it's just, wow. I've been told I can't get too crazy, but I gotta say, I feel like history repeats itself every few thousand years, and every time it does, there are thousands of people out there that are basically the story of Jesus Christ, except the passion was like metaphorical. These are just people who are innocent at heart and tried to do better for humanity by seeing things from an outside perspective and not being a part of humanity themselves. In his case, being the Son of God, he couldn't live a normal life, perform all these miracles, work all those talents. Go check me out, see my talents. But then look, but then society just destroys these people, just tortures them to death. But forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's crazy, but there's something going on, that's for damn sure, because the people that are prosecuting me have done far fucking worse than I have, I know it. I bet they've done far worse in their fucking bedroom with another person than I've ever done in my life. And yet, here I am. Large, sharp stone shard. Okay, Tunnel City. Yeah, drop by scale miners. But jeez, I get 10 chunks from all the farming I've done there, and they're not high. They don't drop it. Maybe I gotta take the providential ring off and lower my item discovery. Oh, there's got to be. This isn't really so much about this, I guess, because the Demon Soul before Extra Life, but now this is Demon Souls Wiki. It's at Extra Life though too, yeah, which is F Extra Life, I think. The F word. I think that's what that means. But it looks like Demon Souls was never popular enough to have a good, because put it this way, I know a lot of stuff, just like where to find like black pine resin and stuff that is not on here. I've been leaving comments left and right on this site, just on the pages, just hoping they update the site with it being useful. You see, not a total bum. I've helped people. I volunteer online, especially for Madden America, and it's like it's all gonna go down. When it does, my only comfort will be that at least I wasn't one of them. There's no blood on my hands. I got off your stupid little ride as a child as soon as I realized just how awful you people are. It can be bought by the filthy man for 1,500 souls. Well, let's go see about that, because I could have swore I looked once before and I didn't see it. I'm like, no, he doesn't. But that was a while ago. Maybe it changes when you progress the game or have a different tendency. Because I was early on in the game. Let's see if he has them now. Whoops, wrong one. Whoops. Yeah, see. Whoops. Yeah, see, just a sharp zone started. Not a large one. Jeez. I don't leave a comment here saying, well, at least I don't see one. No, I'm not a robot. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do some PvP. Everyone's watching. It's amazing, this game is hot as hell. Just so, just so many people still waiting on their PS5s, even especially because of all the scalpers. I look at all their streams and it's like, dude, they take off like crazy. It's like this is like a gold rush. I'm striking gold. Like, man, get a PS5, play Demon Souls, automatically get 1,000 subs. It's like, except me. What is it? Is my name? Do I look too weird? The aesthetics of my name creep people out. Like, what the hell is up with this guy? Oh, that looked cool, like 80s, in an 80s kind of way. Like what people from the 80s thought the future would look like. JAECIze of Unreal Anomaly. Hell yeah. But I guess it's just me. Alright, so filthy woman. Seems there's another location he's in where he might have it. And no. So I'm going to start invading. Oh, there's Tucker Carlson. The country you grew up in teeters on its foundation. Well, no shit. It's over. Thank God, especially if you want to compare to the 1980s. I mean, back then, people were so sociable. You could meet people everywhere. And as your kids and young adults especially, I have two older half-sisters, much older. Like one of them was like 10 years older and the other 7 or 8 years older. And, it's like they were so socially active. And I was riding bikes around town when I was a little kid, when all they had me on were stimulants before they started putting me on the neuroleptic drugs and I became disabled. And, let me see if audio is on here. No. So everything I just said should be. Oh, I got my headphones in here. So everything I just said. Yeah. Should be. Well, I'm here if anyone shows up and wants to talk. I can see the chat box. Yeah, like I said, it used to be just like put on a shirt that's like whatever you're about, or something you've, say you listen to Metallica, put on a Metallica shirt. People will just walk right up to you. Hey man, you listen to Metallica? And like that's all it took. That's all it took for my half-brother to make like 20 friends. That's although I have a half-brother too that's like 6, 7, 8 years older, I can't remember. But he's older. It was like, yeah, just put on a Metallica shirt, start walking around town, and you meet tons of friends. It used to be people would hook up with complete strangers just for the littlest of things. Now it's like I've been trying to meet people online. I've even put out ads about for 6 months. I've been putting out an ad for a roommate, just a house, a companion, just a roommate that isn't socially reclusive and will talk to me at times. And so basically, I told you could live here for free as long as we would get along and stuff. Nada. And and then the dating sites, again, nada. You just sit there and cyber sex until they get off, and then next thing you know, they disappear. Come back sometime in the future, start talking, keep talking. They guide it toward we're almost gonna meet, about to meet, we'll be meeting soon. And then I swear, they're just jerking off, and then they're sitting there afterward going, oh my God, I almost came close to it. Oh my God. It's like, what the hell? Just meet. Hook up. The hell is wrong with people? We're social creatures. We're not supposed to be living alone. Everybody is supposed to have a partner. And of course, because the psych drugs screwed up my sexual development, I've been pretty much asexual my whole life. Not straight, not gay, but just really I can get aroused, but it's just like the situation, the circumstance, like being naked in front of somebody or something, knowing they wanna, what with me, it's like just that thought, but no lust. And that's complicated things, of course, because I have no drive. I've never had any drive to actually, you'll go out and really get it, I don't really, it's something that would come after a friendship and, or a relationship and just be part of what I have to do to maintain the relationship. And, and that's certainly creeps people the hell out. Soon I'm going to be stuck in a system where nobody listens to me, nobody cares. And when they're done forwarding me to psych, they're going to pat themselves on their backs and say, oh, we did a good thing. The guy was just drunk and emailing a police officer. Something only a very lonely and desperate drunk person would do. Wow, and I was incredibly drunk. But next thing you know, I sent 80 emails in a night. Suddenly it's harassment. Suddenly it's aggravated stalking. And a video of me holding a shotgun shell, indicating I might blow my head off. That, of course, was thankfully misinterpreted, actually. Interpreted as a threat toward the officer. Otherwise, I would already been stuck in the psych system. Really, I'm just a lonely, desperate guy. desperate in a way that would cause me to hurt anybody. I'm just the opposite. I want a hug, at the very least. I swear, man, when a cop tackled me to arrest me, I ran, by the way. He tackled me, he was on top of me, he had his knee in my hip, and another cop came and put his knee on the back of my neck. I gotta tell you, it felt good. It felt so good. I mean, really, I was sitting there, it just felt good. There's nothing psychological about it. It's just like my body just went like a lot, like years and years and years of tension of a certain hardly describable sort just went away on me. Especially on Chico. Nope. How the heck did that backstab not do any damage? It must have been latency. Speaking of which, I think I'm on a European server because I was playing very early in the morning and wasn't getting anything on the US server, so let's go get on the US server now. Ireland. Just getting some action in Ireland. That's right. Well, I can't believe I plus 10'd that Uki. I mean, wow. That is hardcore. 285 attack rating. DPS, damage per second. Wow. Excellent weapon. I love it. Should have went with heavy weapons, but no. Even in Dark Souls 3, except for when I play with Claymore, it's all been dexterity weapons. On a dark build and a dex build. I don't have even in Dark Souls 3, I don't have a strength build. Although I sometimes use heavy weapons on my dark build. Claymore, and especially. Let's see, there's no action here. Try it one more time. Going on noon, I don't know what day is it. Oh, it's a Tuesday. Jeez. They got me on an electronic tether like an animal. Which is not so bad, actually, really. If they're so scared of me, that's all they should do. Really. Supervise, I'm fine with that. Just don't stick needles in my ass. Especially if I'm going to be in my own home being supervised this way. Problem solved. And then watch them also as a condition of my probation take my internet away and be like, how is that going to do anything but make me so much worse? In my life of loneliness, this is the only thing I have to get even a semblance of, you know, human social contact. This world is just so screwed up. and it's usually money. You know, why are there so many police and so many jails and prisons always overcrowded, even though crime, real crime, violent crimes have dropped drastically? Literally, I think it was 40-fold since the 1970s, 140-fold if I remember actually now, since the 1970s. Yeah, I'd have to Google it, but yeah, rapes and murders and stuff, and even just assault, it's gone down dramatically, and of course it has. People used to go, everyone used to be stir crazy, you know, but now we've all got this technology that keeps us distracted, keeps our minds occupied, but yet people gotta create jobs, and same thing with psychiatry. Robert Whitaker and his works, along with the works of dozens of others, of scientists, psychologists, and even psychiatrists themselves, have just completely destroyed the legitimacy and the validity of their profession. Even the recently former head of the National Institute of Mental Health threw them under the bus, although he would later, be pressured undoubtedly to come in and correct what he said. It was not me, but he didn't retract any of the things he said earlier. It was just political. Yeah, but they have no validity as doctors. And their diagnoses are just pulled out of thin air, and meanwhile they get these drugs that cause serious brain damage, and they make people worse in new ways than they ever were to begin with, and they don't help the majority of people. But what do? They go, that's nonsense. They say you lack insight. Of course, there are studies, statistics, surveys, everything. You can go to Mad in America. If you dig through that site, you'll find them even done. But it's shown that, the psychiatry is a medical profession. It's only the people who barely graduated medical school that go into that profession. And the rest of doctors don't even consider them a legitimate medical specialty either. And they don't want to have anything to do with it. It's like oh no, I better hope to go to med school thinking, oh no man, I better graduate at least in the middle of my class. No way I want to be a psychiatrist. I won't be able to sleep at night, destroying people with all these drugs. Oh my God. But then there are other people, some of them are complete sociopaths, like Jeffrey Lieberman, that former head of the American, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's done some truly atrocious things. I mean, wow. Like a chapter in Robert Whitaker's book of other psychiatrists who've done truly atrocious things. He titled it, "The Nuremberg Code Doesn't Apply Here." Which is like Nazi doctors and who got in trouble after the Nuremberg trials for all their unethical human experiments. It was like, hey, with psychiatry in modern times, that's fine. Anyone who says otherwise is a flat earther. And they just keep relying on their say-so. You can't argue with them. You can't reason with them. Ironically enough, they have an inability to reason properly. They are deluded, have delusions over what they do and what their drugs do. It's ironic. They're the ones that are crazy. But at the same time, they've got their higher-ups taking money from drug companies that are spinning all this stuff in their favor, and then then you get to the trenches, and they all have cognitive dissonance because, hey, they're making $160,000, $180,000 a year, and if they had to accept what they were really doing, that money goes away. You know, Medicaid and insurance companies aren't going to pay them to sit and talk to people, talk to them about their childhood trauma and try to reconceptualize anything. No, a counselor, a non-medical counselor can do that. I'm not paying attention, I'm talking too much, blah, blah, blah. I took a fistful of Benadryl because I don't want to fail on any of my drug tests, so I can't take the bitter dextromethorphan I had been taking to help smooth my anxiety out. I'm sure they're not going to allow that, even though it works. So, all Benadryl. Oh, and the Klonopin, quit taking the Klonopin too, because that's a class. They won't give you that in the jail, even if you're using it for a seizure disorder. Because I know you could actually look up the Genesee County Jail death lawsuit settlement. There were 2 women who died, and one of them had people. Ooh, somebody's here. Anyway, one of them had. Hey, the monk battle. Time to destroy these stupid chairs. Haha. Then he left. Alright, well. I said all the other inmates were frantic, according to all the testimony and stuff. They were frantic, like, you gotta help her, you gotta help her, hey, someone get in here beating on the door, and they would just take and move them move the cellmate to another cell, and then eventually have her get a medical cell in solitary, and just died after like 5 or 6 days of having seizures. Meanwhile, Hurley Hospital, right down the road, literally like a half a mile, at the end of that block, or like 2 blocks away, or 3 blocks away, something like not far. You can see it standing outside the Genesee County Jail, and yet they just let her die. So knowing I could go back there, even if just the battery on my charger dies, or the battery on my tether dies, they automatically consider that an escape attempt. No excuses, nothing. Even if it breaks by no doing of my own, that's an escape. That's 30 days in jail. Even if the battery just, explodes, like a laptop batteries can do. It's pretty big, but still, they consider that an escape attempt. No excuses. They were very clear that there were no excuses. Something goes wrong and they don't see me on the grid or on the radar screen, then that's an escape attempt. 30 days in jail. And you can't get credit for that 30 days in jail. They told me that too. If you wind up being found guilty and sentenced, you can't get credit on that 30 days in jail because it's for another matter. So I guess you're worrying about this tether that looks like it's been through hell. I mean, really, its appearance is not something that would... Yeah, I have generalized anxiety disorder. worry about the future, the present. Like, or my father, he's not here. Worry about his heart. Just constant worry. But they're gonna wind up diagnosing me as psychotic because it's easier to get my civil and human rights taken away. I know because I've been in the psychiatric survivor movement for 2 decades now, really since I was a teenager, and I've seen and I've heard from so many people that have been trapped in the system. It's a fucking atrocity. Not nearly as much of an atrocity as the drugging children, which was what fucked me up in the first place. What is that sound? What? Wow. No, really, I was a normal kid, really, before those drugs. I had friends, I played with kids down the street. I was completely normal. And next thing you know, after those drugs, they caused a nerve damage. The Mellaril I was on after I got strung out on Ritalin, it made everything nails on chalkboard. They would just call it, they would just diagnose it as irritability, or the side effect, call it irritability. I mean, no. Just touching, especially things like denim and paper, would send my whole body, like you can't imagine. Like nails on chalkboard, while he's not disturbed. I mean, it literally hurt. It caused pain. And then I would outburst from that, and of course, needs more. Give him more. All the meanwhile, just changing my diagnosis to reflect all what the drugs have done to me. Which is routine in psychiatry and a fucking atrocity. Right now, all of a sudden, I would have a pervasive developmental disorder, and it's like, what? I was not only a normal kid, believe it or not, I was reading at an 8th grade level when I was in 1st grade. I already knew how to read and had been reading since I was my mom started teaching me to read when I was probably 4. But now all of a sudden I've got a pervasive developmental disorder. There's that sound. Because I have all this nerve damage and my neuroleptic drugs and my speech is slurred and I'm all physically clumsy, which I never was before. That's what they do. They screw you up on a drug, they'll just add more and more drugs. And they'll change your diagnosis to just reflect the damage the drugs have caused. Someone goes manic on an antidepressant, all of a sudden they're bipolar. A little kid gets serious brain damage from their neuroleptics, and all of a sudden they have a pervasive developmental disorder. They'll never own up to it. And yet these are the people that society look at it to be like the most reasonable, intelligent, most reasonable of people. Some of them are downright sociopaths. Many of them are just delusional. Because they have a very, very strong conflict of interest in their mind. Help the patient and lose my home and my belongings and to become like, it's like, oh, okay. The consequence to actually trying to help my patients is that Medicaid and insurance companies will quit paying me. And then I might as well just shove my medical degree just right where you know where. And so then they look to the so-called experts, someone to hide behind. And the experts are all taking money from drug companies and saying, yeah, this works. It's at least better than the alternative and blah, 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 blah. And they go, okay, oh, that's a relief. And the suicide rate among psychiatrists is 4 times that of the general population. I think that statistic, actually, I think it might have been 4 times more than other medical doctors. Once again, you could Google if you wanted to. All the conscientious psychiatrists, they'll blow their head off, knowing what they're doing to people. I mean, they don't have to deal with blood and guts and everything, so there's really no other excuse. There's really no other reason, that they should be so upset and in despair that they themselves would commit suicide. When we look at regular doctors and their suicide rate, we imagine, well, they've seen a lot of kids die from cancer and stuff like that. It's like, well, what has psychiatry seen? Nothing. They've done it. Okay, something crazy is going on here. That sound. Is he like stuck in the wall, like glitching out? And oh, the hell with it. Someone doesn't want to play. forgot I had this. I should use it. She has one too. Gotta get really close for that to work. Okay, man, that doesn't work. Two shot, wow. I got the AP to plus 10. Wow. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's not easy to hit someone with that, though, obviously. You need to get some large hardstone shot or shot. Yeah, I think it's hardstone. I forgot what I need, but it's not here. Can't farm for it here. That shield is so cool. I had no idea how many things they brought over from Demon Souls into Dark Souls. Really Dark Souls 3. Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. Bloodborne being, in my opinion, still the greatest game of all time. Although this is really right so close with it. But I still think Bloodborne edges it out. But like that was my first. And then Dark Souls 3. It's like so much is taken from here. I mean, Demon Souls is like it's the ultimate Souls game. It led, everything. Because that spike shield is in Dark Souls 3 too, except you can't attack with it. But yeah, I think you can. So there's so much that was just drawn over from, or taken from. I hate hide and go seek. Come on, man, where are you? Oh, duh. Too busy ruminating. That should help. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, this is going to be a problem at some point in the distant future. The fact that there are so many servers. Ooh. We got a blue one. Oh, come on. I have not warmed up. I can't believe I took that. Wait, I can't believe you took that swing. That was bad spacing. Of course that was going to be a whiff. You really should take out the Phantoms first. You're supposed to. If you want to be a real invader. And that was my first invasion, other than a monk battle. I should get the hang of this. Because I usually have like a, I'd say 70-30 win-to-lose ratio. Yeah, I'll show you my screen too. All are my stats. Here are my weapons. Uki plus 10, Secret Dagger 9. I'm gonna work on getting that upgraded. And Rapier, Mail Breaker, Wing Spear plus 8. Compound Short Bow, Heater Shield, Spike Shield, and Steel Shield plus 6. I gotta check here, man. It's happened like once or twice. There was actually someone was sitting on a ledge over there. You can get there if you're really careful. And sort of like slide around the pillar or whatever. He's not disturbed, or he wouldn't. Probably ran right by him. They're rarely ever over there. In fact, I've only seen that a couple of times. I'm over 500 invasions. I'll put my blue sign down when this is done and see, because I think I might have broke 600. Something phantom. He was hiding, and damn it. That's that phantom. Put his sign down in a not normal place. Ooh. Oh no, he was at the fog wall. I never would have been able to catch him, so jeez. That was just a waste of time. Uki Kitana from Dark Souls 3. What? No, Demon Souls, man. It's awesome. I can't believe it. They took so much from Demon Souls into the Dark Souls game that this is like really it. Like this truly started it all. And of course, Bloodborne is the game I started on, and still the greatest game of all time, in my opinion. I played Dark Souls 3. But yeah, this game is very close to Bloodborne on my ranks. I say Bloodborne is a 10. So far, this is about a 9.5. Come on. If this keeps going on, I'll try another server. Tuesday, though, on yeah, I should. I need to try a London server. Most people are at work right now. Oh, I did. Oh, okay, well, try California. already. He left. Probably didn't notice he forgot to do that. Good, the monk battle. Yeah, I got the shield for this now. Don't have to worry about messing up my weapon durability. I got a sharpening stone though. I'm gonna beat these chairs with my shield. Stupid chairs. I swear, Miyazaki is a genius. These games are like based on real life itself. You know, you start out not knowing where you are or what to do. And what? Is that latency just hasn't showed up yet? Whoa! Not much damage though. This is fun. I'm gonna heal on this guy. Summon inhibitor. This isn't a duel. I'm here to kill you. Even if I die, I'll think, hey, at least I gave him a good fight. And I'm dead. Yeah, he's clapping. I like just giving people a good time. What the hell? I obviously have like no ego in this game. Oh, come on, right after I used a freaking DCers. Right after I used the pine resin. doing this. This guy is good. GG, man. GGG. I've got to save that. Clip it. I've already made it. Yeah. I can't kill one of the... Oh. Jeez. My mind is just so distracted. Thinking about what's coming up. I keep thinking of all the different things they could do. I know what they're going to want to do. But how maybe I can get some sort of leniency. I've been trying myself to sleep every day. And in between. This really isn't as bad as that report makes it look. I'm hoping they'll listen to my father. Because he can add context. One thing that's missing from all of them is that I was drunk at the time. Very drunk. And that even includes the one from when I was 14. This isn't a mental illness problem. It's a drinking problem. I have what they used to call Asperger's syndrome, except they removed that from the DSM. The high-functioning autism. And, I just need to stay away from alcohol. I could have reaction rolled that, but I need to go get some healing items. I'm definitely not doing good today. I've been shaking a lot lately. That's how bad this is hurting my anxiety. I mean, this is torture for someone like me. I need healing items. Go farm with soul. Whoa. Damn it. Oh man, I gotta think something better to say. Jeez. I can fix this with what comes next. Be back later. Get something. I haven't seen this in so long. I mean, I come from the old internet. In the 19... The internet when I was 7 or 8 years. I'd be 33 megahertz processor. I think it was 8 megabytes of RAM. Windows. AOL. Yeah, Windows 3.1 and AOL. The word lamer used to be used a lot. Because, of course, tons of nerds on the old internet. You're a lamer. You're a lamer. Whoa, I got 2. Awesome. But that also means I have the... What? They're following me? This on from where I was PvP with... I could have put the magic. Reduce damage with magic going on. I menu flip and stuff, menu swap, and do the ring swaps in Dark Souls 3, but it's in Dark Souls 3, and I'm so nervous right now, my hands are shaky. I don't want this to take my mind off what's going on, but Yeah, maybe. Well, what I want is supervision by a counselor, not a psychiatrist, maybe a psychologist, and I want 2,000 hours of community service because I've really wanted to get a job all these years, but that I've been on SSI, it's so hard when you have that giant unemployment gap. And I never made it. I never graduated high school. The drugs screwed me up so bad I had tardive dyskinesia, which miraculously, I still have it, but I have to be really tired. And it doesn't even matter if I'm stressed out. Something to do with like that's another reason I drink a lot, because it could put me in a sort of, especially as a kid when I was a teenager, and my father used to buy it for me because I got drunk once and it made it better. Because I think it puts you on the verge of sleep. And tardive dyskinesia usually goes away when you're asleep. But of course, then in my 20s, I became addicted to it, even though, in regards to that brain damage, thankfully, it's usually permanent. It's normally permanent, like 100% of cases, if it doesn't go away within a few days. But that's been because my brain was still developing, not much, but, being a teenager, at least a little. Oh, what the hell, man? How did that not kill him? Well, I gotta get up. I gotta do something.